The Running Man, 2025. I'm not sure about this film. I've seen it now, and I think I'm a long way from its target audience, so it will appeal more to other people. It's directed by Edgar Wright, who did Baby Driver 2017 and Last Night in Soho 2019. And this stars Ben. He's like the protagonist, and he lives in what's called Slumside. It's a really dystopian city, and he's been blacklisted. Um, he, from practically every job he's done, largely dismissed for insubordination, and when he goes to interviews, people describe him as the angriest man they've met for this particular show. Um, the trailer starts with "Stop filming me," and that comes up a lot during this because it's all about television competition, and it must drive people to distraction, because there's drones following the competitors. And there's a lot of similarities to The Long Walk in that it's in that film, there were people, kids walking till they dropped dead effectively, or they were shot because they had stopped walking. Um, this is more, it isn't all running, but it's hiding, it's running and hiding for 30 days. And if you win, the prize is £1 billion. Of course, life is very cheap. And it's being a television show, well, like social media, it's all about the attention economy. And television has become even more trashy than it is these days. I mean, reality television's taken a few steps further down the line towards horror, I guess. Um, but yeah, there was that program Hunted. It was certainly on Channel 4 in the UK. I kind of enjoyed the first series of that. I've seen little bits of subsequent series, but I didn't get that much into it. But I was fascinated by how much the police and authorities can trace people simply by CCTV and use of smart cards and, well, all the technology we have, phones, of course. So you effectively have to ditch all of that to avoid being hidden. And of course, technology's taken some steps forward. And when Ben is given an aptitude test, uh, like word association technology is his word for, in answer to that is abuse. Can see why that is. He's got uh, very cynical answers to just about everything, apart from in the Rorschach test, where he actually sees things as quite lovely. Um, so um, it's described as a dystopian action film, and that really feels accurate because it is really an awful society. Um, People can barely afford to live, and so these competitions, there's desperation. It's like you can easily see how things could get this bad, and I guess all it takes is for human rights laws to be abolished for this to become more like a reality. Um, so I think it's set in the not too distant future. It really feels close, and well, given what's happening already on the other side of the Atlantic with masked officials snatching people off the streets, um, and criminals just dressing up um, as the similar type of snatch quads. I mean, if people don't have ID, how do you know? How do you distinguish between criminals and these government enforcement agents? Um, so it is really already pretty dystopian, I would say. And some of our politicians, our leader of the opposition even said she'd bring that type of agent, that kind of system over here. Um, it's just horrific, I would say. Um, so, um, yeah, it's already dystopian, I think. And Ben has a young daughter who has a fever. She's very ill. She needs some proper medicine. They can't afford it, Ben and his wife, and um, he loves his wife, but he thinks he's going to have to do a show. He says he won't do the Running Man, but of course he gets persuaded. And the expression shown, the three-word acronym, the three-word chant, like as is so common in politics already. In this case, it's hunt him down. Um, and as I explained in the last film review, there's this generic use of the word man. It doesn't necessarily mean that all the running men are men, as in Running Man also applies to running women because one of the other contestants that Ben is alongside is a woman, Jenny. And so Glenn Powell plays Ben, and oh gosh, what is it? Josh Brolin is like one of this whole pile of like uh, the people running the companies and the people driving up the ratings because of this attention economy. Oh gosh. So it's like reality, but it's um, it's a few steps removed because life isn't yet this cheap. But you can so it's depressing, I would say, because it's like uh, one thing I like about films is escapism. And the only thing that's an escape in this is the hope, the chance that the protagonist will win. And then there's a sense of satisfaction if someone wins, if like in this case Ben wins. I mean, he's rooting for the two contestants he's with. They're all dressed the same way, and they all get the three of them are sort of there's a broadcast every evening, and they want to have live kills. That's what the actual um, television company want. Um, so there's one other fairly key character, and that's someone whom Ben takes hostage at one point. A woman who it shows how fake news is part of it as well. I mean, there's deep fakes. There's the whole thing about AI being used to amend the drone footage so that when it's broadcast, it's really fast. Again, it's not that far away, but then all the people who watch this program believe what they see on screen. And like this one scene where um, Ben patently isn't saying something, but it's shown that he is on the camera. So he knows it, and the producers know, but the audience think he's the baddie, and they're all baying for his life. And there's all this sort of stuff. And he meets, well, he like takes hostage, he kidnaps a woman in her own car, um, and sees how she thinks this way. Um, so this all well, it plays out after that. I won't go into obviously too much of the storyline. There's quite a lot of special effects, but the story, there's quite a lot to follow in the story as well. So I think it's not too bad in that. I think it's actually better than Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Um, but although this is probably has it's got that feeling that it could be like a cult film in some respects. I mean, the way the titles are done and everything like that, I can imagine some people really getting to like it, the whole way it goes. But I just don't think it's my kind of film. So I'm going to score it 6.75. It kept my attention. I think it's got a lot of excitement going on in it, and it's got a good balance of story and special effects. I mean, they need special effects to keep it believable, plausible, realistic. Um, but yeah, it's a bit under par for me. I mean, 6.75 is not that bad a score though. Um, So, I'd like to know what you think. If you like this review, please hit the like. Thanks if you subscribe. Um, hit that notification button. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.